Expecting by Catherine Manthe. Carl says, if you go and get pregnant, I'm out of here. So I go and get pregnant and he's out of there. That's after he's found all these unopened packets of the pill under the bed and seen me throwing up my tea every evening and put two and two together and made it come to a lifetime of responsibility. You can't blame him. But I can't afford the rent on my own, so I'm out of there too. That's how I find myself in this 5-storey end of terrace in Whitechapel. I'm caretaking for some friends of Carl's while they raise the cash to convert it into executive apartments with a wealth of original features. My bit's the attic, which is the only floor half fit for human habitation. It's mine, rent-free for a good 9 months, which should take me up to when the baby comes. If the baby comes. Sometimes I only half believe it. This place is so creepy it's hard to know what to believe. You go out of your mind here and nobody will know the difference. Here's my routine. I wake up first thing and it's freezing. I rub a hole on the grime on the window pane above my bed and stare out over the rooftops. Then I lie back with a blanket over my head and think of Mary Poppins while I'm trying to shut out the noise. Footsteps. Thud, thud, thud below it. Only I know it isn't footsteps because there's no one else in the house and next door's empty. So I'm imagining it. Maybe. Or when I can't put it off any longer, I race to the loo 2 floors down, clapping my hands and banging my feet on the boards in case there's rats. So while I got my head down that bog one morning that I first hear the baby crying. Then that flapping like bare feet running on lino. And the wailing stops. This time I know it's my imagination. There's no baby for miles, unless you count the one inside of me. Next time I hear it, I decide it is the one inside of me. Trying to tell me something. Spooky or what? Most days I'm in my attic painting, except Tuesdays when I sign on. I daub and smudge and smoke and eat lime pickle. And the smell of the oils and the terps gets all mixed up with the smell of the pickle when it's good. I catch myself licking the top of the terps bottles one day and just stop myself before taking a swig. Come 6 o'clock, my head's down that loo again. Then I just mooch about a bit and tell myself stories and listen. 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 I won't know what I'm listening for till I hear it. We all have places we can't go. The places I'm frightened to go are mostly in my head. But some are real. There's one right here in this attic. It's a tiny cupboard high above my bed. I can't go there, but I think about it all the time. I feel it's forbidden, but I know the only way to stop being scared is to look. I will look. Soon as it's daylight and this is just a normal, cheerful little garret in Whitechapel. I wait till the sun's come round far enough to pick out a spot on the wall. Then I balance on 2 old phone books on my bed and pull that cupboard door open fast before I can change my mind. Something dead flutters out and I scream and fall off the bed and scramble out to the landing. I feel stupid because how can something flutter if it's dead? An hour later I poke my head round the door and it's still there, lying by the bed where it fell. I thought it might be a dead owl, but it's not. It's a little package wrapped in tissue with a faded ribbon round. I leave it there and go out and get another jar of pickle. Next day I open the package. It's a ring of yellowish ivory with a silver bell attached. My baby's rattle. I can tell it's old because it's got that faint smell of urine you get in junk shops. In the back of my mind I have this feeling I already knew it was in that cupboard. It's kind of familiar. Here's what's puzzling though. Did I put it there myself? This place is so quiet it's doing my head in. Silence has a way of turning itself into sounds, and you can't tell if they're real or not. What I am hearing more and more is this baby crying and then footsteps. Bare feet flap, flap, flap on lino. and then it stops. It's got to be a trick I'm playing on myself. It's got to be. Because if it's not, it's ghosts. This bloke's coming from some Georgian Preservation Society. The owners want me to show him around and keep him sweet because they don't want any complications with the planning. I'm expecting frock coat and buckles, him being a preserved Georgian, but it's head to toe Armani and aftershave so strong I have to purse my lips so I don't retch. He eyes me up on the doorstep, fancying his chances, I can tell. Even though my face is purple with not retching. I offer him a sandwich. Lime pickle, he says. Trying to give it up? Well, he's darting about all over the place with a "now that is nice" every time he crashes into a broken shutter or falls onto a sooty grate. He knows a bit about the house. Built for an 18th century merchant, he says. Went down in the world, used as lodging rooms, then storage. That's why it's so wonderfully untouched. I show him the rattle. Partly I want an opinion, but mostly I want to distract him from a lump of dope on the bedside table. Teething ring, he says, hardly glancing. So there would have been babies in the house, I casually inquire. Certainly. Any die here, even more casual. More than likely, he shouts. This is because he's got his top half out the attic window admiring the chimney stack. I spot the rusty point of an old nail on the frame about to sink into the elbow of the Armani. I decide not to mention it. I'm sitting on the bed wriggling my bare feet, which were as pretty as the day I was born, wondering how to bring up the topic of ghosts when he jerks around with a bit of an 18th century F as he feels his sleeve rip. Always open to suggestion, I tell him. But he's down the stairs with a "thanks, I'll let myself out," before I can open my mouth. Maybe he's guessed I'm not as wonderfully untouched as the house. That afternoon I'm poking about in the first floor front to suss out what Mr. Georgian Preserve found so bloody marvellous about it, and I find my name. Louisa. Scratched on the panel behind the door. As soon as I find it, I know that's what I'm really looking for. Else, why would I be in there? Sometimes I just wish Carl would come and find me. Same afternoon I walked down to Brick Lane to find a girl I used to know called Fat Mary. She's always hanging around Brick Lane. Can get you anything. I don't find her. On the way back I nick a packet of henna from a market stall. There's no instructions, so I make it up. Must do all right, because it turns my hair an amazing red. Afterwards I notice there's rusty stains like old blood all over the bath, and the floor, and up the wall, and on my hands. It looks as though somebody's been murdered in there. I feel like bloody Lady Macbeth. I've always been a wild child. That's why it's great I'm in this big spooky house on my own. I can do whatever I like. Be an artist, dye my hair. It's best without Carl. He was always so sodding predictable now I come to think of it. It's days since I've done any painting. Too busy being sick. I wonder if it's normal. I wonder if I should get one of those tests from the chemist to make it, official. I don't know if it's thinking about babies, but I suddenly remember Mum. It's nearly a year now. It'll be a laugh to ring out of the blue and tell him I'm expecting. God, that shake 'em. Never could take Carl, which is why I walked out on my 16th birthday. Soon as it was legal. Wouldn't go back now if you paid me. I put that baby's rattle on the shelf in the hall because I'm too spooked to keep it in my attic. Every time I go past, I'm surprised it's still there. Somehow I'm expecting somebody or something will have collected it. As soon as I get my gyro, I'll get some nice little baby clothes. Then I think, suppose this is a phantom pregnancy. What a joke. A real ghost baby. 3 times a day there's this wailing and footsteps. Wish I'd never had the idea of ghosts. I'd rather I was going mad. I've got to do something about it. I have another go at finding Fat Mary. She's sitting behind the till at her dad's all-day grocer's. "Can you find me a vicar?" I ask. Her dad's watching me from behind a pile of yams. "Piss off," she says. "I'm serving." I pick up a standard and flip her £1. "What you done to your hair?" she says. "What you want a vicar for?" "Henna," I tell her. "An exorcism." "Oh, right," she says, banging the change on the counter. "Come back Tuesday." By Tuesday morning I'm in some kind of a state. All night I've heard the baby crying over and over, and these flapping footsteps. Somebody running. Then the wailing stops. 10 minutes later it started again. I look at myself in the bathroom mirror and my face has gone a kind of dead white. I tear over to Fat Mary to see if she got me a vicar. "Better than that," she says. Turns out she knows this bloke called Gary, who changed his name to Hassan and is well experienced in the occult. Done loads of exorcisms, apparently. He'll come over tonight. He's about 50, fat, with a greasy grey ponytail. I tell him about the wailing and the footsteps like bare feet running, and that I think maybe a baby was murdered in the house. I've only just thought of murder, but now I have. It's obvious. I reckon I need to get him interested. I've taken my shoes off and wound paper stars in my hair because that's the least I can do. I'll show him the old bloodstains in the bathroom. Then I'll remember it's henna, but I think it's better not to tell him that. He wants to be alone at the top of the house, so I'm to wait downstairs. I give him the rattle in case it helps, and he hands it back and tells me to hold on to it. After he's gone thumping up the stairs, the ghost baby's cries start. Louder than I've ever heard them. If it is a ghost, it knows he's here and it's going to be exorcised. I retch, but it's not morning sickness this time, it's terror. I drop the rattle and then the pain starts low in my belly, and I know what's happening. Know it even before the blood comes. I run down the passage towards the stairs, and all I can hear is that ghostly wailing and the familiar sound of feet flap, flap, flap on the lino. That's what I've been hearing below me in the house all these weeks. My own bare feet running. I know what happens next. The crying stops. Suddenly I know why it stops. I scream for Hassan. Don't do it. But it's too late. His head comes over the banister at the top of the stairwell. He's shouting me to calm down and says I won't be troubled anymore. "Got rid of it for you," he says. "Like you asked." Then I know a baby has been done away with in that house. My baby. My ghost baby. Real baby. Baby that was going to be.
Expecting by Catherine Manthe was read by Emma Noakes. The producer was Gemma Jenkins.